when we study astrology, and anything actually, we study it bit by bit, because there's just too much to study it all at the same time. When we think about the movement of, for example, the outer planets, it's necessary for us to look at it one by one, degree by degree, and so on, to just get our heads around what's going on. And yet the collective energy at any particular moment is what we experience. And so as Uranus now goes into the 19th degree of Taurus, we have to kind of be aware that everything's different now because Pluto's in Aquarius. And that has to make a difference to the operation of Uranus energy because of their resonance. And Uranus is forcing its way through Taurus. Taurus doesn't like change, and Uranus doesn't know anything other than change. So we've got that tension in the air, which is in the news as well. There's a greater risk now of conflict than there has ever been in the lives of most people. And it's a tense time because Uranus is in Taurus. And Pluto now in Aquarius is putting a different context on that. And I think this particular degree, the 19th degree of Taurus, which is the newly formed continent, is a lovely image for Uranus. Just let's read it out. Pure receptivity. A mind that is free of the constriction of staunch belief and moralistic attitudes is free to be spontaneous. Then it is responsive to unconscious upwellings of inspiration, creating new thoughts, out of which new realities can emerge and rise up. The basic point here is that we have to empty the mind in order to allow space for new ideas, new initiatives. And one of the things that perhaps we need to do, and it's very important, is to rework, reformulate our idea of what's happening right now. We don't have to see this as the end of everything secure and known to us, which I think it is, but we don't have to see it that way. We have to see it as the clearing away of that which hasn't worked and can never work, such that something new can come forward. And this happens on all levels. This will happen on the personal level, and this will happen on the collective level. And Rudyard, I like what he says on this one. A new continent being rising out of the ocean, the surge of new potentiality after the crisis. The symbol needs hardly to be commented upon. When the mind has been emptied and light has been called upon to purify the consciousness, freed from its attachment and contaminations, a new release of life can emerge out of the infinite ocean of potentiality, the virgin space. What will it be used for? The technique is simply to allow the infinite potential to operate in unconstrained spontaneity. This means to have reached a state in which the conscious rational ego is no longer a controlling factor. Now, as we approach the end game, this whole idea of letting go of what we cannot control is primary. We don't control very much. We try to, and we pretend that we do, but we don't. Everything is changing. Immediately it's born, it's beginning to die. Everything is like that. And this is true of any relationship, any event, any project. As soon as you've created it, it's dying. That's the nature of life. And here we have the real challenge ahead of us is not so much to embrace what is new and different and unknown entirely in our imagination. It's to actually let go of that which stops us embracing that. It sounds as though it's the same thing, and in some ways it is, but it's the focus of attention that we're talking about. If you focus your attention on the problems and the difficulties and the dire emergency that we're approaching, that will bring that energy to you, which is not ideal. What we need to focus on is what's coming next, and we don't know. We have no idea what's next. It has to arise within us spontaneously, such as that which happens in the passage of Uranus energy. It arises within us. We don't plan it. And to do that thoroughly and effectively, the mind has to be free of its habits of control and attachment to things that are dying off. And if we don't let go of the past, we cannot embrace the future. Now, what that means in practice is that all of the things that you've been doing and the people that you've been seeing and so on and so forth, maybe they're not for the future. Who knows? But you have to let go of the commitment that you've got to doing what you've been doing before. That's the thing here. Now, Jones, I'm going to read also today. A newly formed continent. This is a symbol of the raw substance of existence, and it suggests that experience may shape its own ground in full conformity with its desires. Inherent in the symbolism is an awesome awareness of the constant reworking of all reality through the course of successive overall cycles, and it dramatizes the fact that man reestablishes himself continuously within the lineaments of each new realization of his powers and of the opportunities of his world. The keyword is originality. When positive, the degree is a revolutionary potential by which each individual is enabled to remodel the entire face of the universe. And when negative, a genius for futile turmoil and persistent upset. That last sentence, I think, is supreme. When positive, this degree is a revolutionary potentiality by which each individual is enabled to remodel the entire face of the universe. And when negative, a genius for futile turmoil and persistent upset. That's a very good description of war, isn't it? Futile turmoil and persistent upset. And yet the originality of this combination of Uranus, which is total originality, operating in the fixed earth sign of Taurus, which is how things get to be made workable and real and sustainable. Taurus is the builder and builds on firm foundations. Now this applies not only in the physical realm, but also in the mental realm and in the realm of the heart. So we can actually build firm foundations in the heart and in the mind, as well as in physical reality. And this is what we're being asked to do now. In fact, Pluto in Aquarius is not really asking us to do this. It's saying, this will be. This is inevitable. It must be the case. It is the case. Change is big and now. So Uranus is saying, okay, what do you want? And Taurus is saying, build me a new mountain range, for example, a new continent. You know, we're talking about big stuff here. The whole of our world, our reality, our sense of what is, has shifted very quickly in the last 3 years, arbitrarily since COVID, and because of all the other factors that are going on right now. Most of us have got a different worldview about the realm of what is possible, what we can't do, what we thought we would be able to do and we can't do, like buying houses and so on. But there's another side to this. What can we do that we couldn't do before? We won't know until we try. And I think that it's worthwhile affirming that the great awakening that we're experiencing is occurring, in one sense, has occurred within yourself. To some extent, you know things are different now. To only 3 years ago, things are very different now. Reality itself is different. And we know this, but what we don't know yet is what to do about that, how to move forward with this new consciousness, this new energy that we have, this new potential we have. What do we do with it now that we're awakened? What do we do? Well, we have to find out. And we find out by trying. That's the fundamental of all life things. Trial and error. Everything is subject to that law. So what do we want to try? Well, the idea is very clear. We try to make happen that which we think is right for us, for the planet, for the world, for spirit. We just try and make that happen. And it's better to do that if you clear your mind of everything you've thought of as what we need and what is your potential. Clear your mind of that and actually reorientate yourself to what we can have, what's a better version of this, and that you are an agency through which that can occur. In your own locale, with your own people, you're the way that they get to know about that. You're the process that needs to happen in order to make this real, not just imaginary. Each of us individually in our own local environment, with our own people, we're the agencies through which awakening can occur. The great awakening is upon us, and we are announcers of that. I think much of this is contained within this 19th degree of Taurus.